Hello and welcome to Unit 12, the last unit. We're finally here. This is Future Directions in Canadian Social Policy and Social Welfare. Today's reading is Graham, Shear, and Delaney, Chapter 9, and there are no online discussions for this week so that you can work on your major paper. So hopefully you're working on that if you haven't submitted it already. This chapter, it talks about, well, a number of things. One of them being civic engagement, and we have touched on civic engagement in prior units. It's a broad term that refers to the various ways that individuals associate to promote some common societal benefit. This talks about future directions, like civic engagement being a really big one. Again, it kind of, it's really based on that third way that that nonprofit sector that is really increasingly more influential in social policy, as social welfare retrenchment and neoliberalism really continues to develop and stick around. It talks about a precarious labor market, which is, an increased labor market where of part-time, temporary employment, so making full-time and permanent work harder to obtain, and resulting benefits harder to retain, job security harder to retain. And it's a polarized labor market. So there are more opportunities to make what might be considered in a less polarized market, there would be more opportunities to find jobs that would be considered middle income and grow that middle class. And that allows people to purchase homes, to support families, it provides a living wage. There's issues that come up that this book talks about, like, again, talking about marginalized groups, oppressed groups, how to continue to support them, how they will continue to impact Canadian social welfare in the future. So Indigenous peoples, refugees, LGBTQ plus community. The current research highlights a number of ways that nonprofits engage with citizens to promote civic engagement. And this is done through four points, really. Efforts to enlist volunteers and donors to participate in their programs, whether that is active participation in the day-to-day functioning of the organization, or by providing monetary or in-kind donations to support the organization's efforts. I certainly felt that when I was working at Siloam Mission. Is largely based on donations and volunteers. Sorry for the rocky. I have the laptop on my lap. I'm in our little private practice office. So excuse me for that. I'm sorry. Also, another way to promote civic engagement is to engage in activities that bring community members together, such as through program participation and community events. Barbecues, things like that, can really bring the community together. And funny thing is, something like, this isn't intentional, but when I was living in the North End, there was one night where the power went out, and all of a sudden everybody was like, people were yelling out the window like, "Hey, is your power out?" And people were coming out onto the street, and there was like this sense of community all of a sudden, and it was really great. I got to meet my neighbors. There were these people that they're probably selling drugs there, but we got to talk to them, and it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. Another way is participation in collaborative arrangements with other nonprofits and less formal community groups, and activities that promote education and awareness within the community. So consciousness raising, again, very important. And the book talks about social economy, which refers to those economically productive parts of Canada's economy that support the achievement of social goods. We just talked about social innovation and social entrepreneurship, so there's ties to that. And so this video is going to be very short. And as you read, this last chapter and while you write your paper, think about what current contemporary issues that you were drawn to. Whatever it is, there's race issues that are really prevalent right now. Gender issues. I work with child and adolescent uh, population, and there's an increasing number of individuals that are, they're like, maybe I'm that, maybe I'm bi, maybe I'm trans. Doesn't mean that they are or not. That's not for me to decide. But during the teen years, it's all about forming an identity and creating an identity. And when these, it's just it shows how prevalent a social issue is in terms of LGBTQ plus issues and gender issues and identity issues. That there are these kids that are coming in saying, I think I'm bisexual. And they're okay with saying that. There's not this stigma that is attached to it anymore. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so, think about that. Think about ways that you yourself have participated in civic engagement. What were those causes? I've started running. Nowhere near in shape, but I started running. And attached to these runs that I register for is usually a cause. Whether it be breast cancer, Alzheimer's. I'm just set to do one for Alzheimer's Society. Prostate cancer, things like that. And so, but what is your cause? Is it poverty reduction? Like, what are you drawn to? Is it domestic violence? Is it child welfare, child abuse? Think about the contemporary issues and what are they? What is their current political sort of milieu? What is the perspective right now, 2019? What's at the forefront for you? Okay, well, thank you so much for taking this course. Exam. There's going to be an exam review. I'll put a very short video, I guess, for the exam review. And there's a course evaluation, so please do that as well. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks again for taking this course. All right. Bye.